Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is technical analysis of the stock market today. Today is Monday, October 6, 2014. We're going to take a look at the market action from today, and then we're going to look at four stocks: Apple, Facebook, Twitter, and Adobe. All right, we're going to start off. The Dow Industrials was down almost 18 points today. The markets were a little mixed. I would say more to the downside, as my post talks about, than they were to the upside. 4 out of 5 indices were down. The Dow here basically started off in the morning and was up about 90 points and then came on down, and then I thought it was going to crack, and then it rallied back in the last part of the day. I thought about 1:30 or so afterwards it was going to roll over, but then it didn't. It just kind of held up in here. So we've got kind of a pause type day, but we were down. And, I'm still looking at this from the standpoint of, you can see lower high, lower high, lower high, all the way down here. So until we start to break that pattern, I'm going to go with this mode that says we're going to continue to work our way to the downside. S&P 500, a little more of a reversal pattern than the Dow had. Let's see, not a whole lot more. I mean, this low right in here, 1978, looks like it's provided a little bit of resistance to the SPX. High today was almost 1978. So yeah, so this is providing a little bit of resistance in here, and it kind of repelled that rally mode that was going on the market. Put that in there like that. Let's take a look at the New York Composite. It was the only one that was up today. That kind of surprised me, especially after getting confirmation here that this double top was in. So we'll continue to watch this. It could be just, nothing more than a little bit more of a... This had more of a stronger move to the downside too. We got to remember that. So we're getting a little bit more of a bounce and a pullback on this index. The NASDAQ was a little more negative than the others. You can see how it opened up above and it had a lower low slightly, kind of a bearish and engulfing bar here on a candlestick basis. So a lot more negative, and looks like it's kind of reversing to the downside. Russell 2000 was even a little more negative, in that the Russell 2000 closed below the low of the last 2 days, and it was the only indice to do that. So it sure looks like it wants to make a run at this support level here of 1082, which on an intraday basis it broke, but it hasn't closed below 1082. So it looks like it's trying to make another run at it. All right, let's take a look at the indicators today. Short-term trading index was pretty much in the neutral zone. Closed today at 0.88, and the 10-day closed at 1.12. So no extreme reading. The VIX, on the other hand, looks like it's trying to head back up. And again, since most of the indices were down, it's not surprising to see the VIX up. But the way this bar is in here, it looks like kind of a bullish engulfing candle versus the bar from Friday. And on a high-low basis, the interesting thing here, and I mentioned this in the post, is that we've had 11 straight days below zero. Okay, we haven't had 11 straight days below zero since September, October 2011, when we had a major sell-off with that whole governmental crisis going on August to September, and so we had that major sell-off. So this has been 3 years since we had this degree of selling occurring here. But yet when you go back and you look at the Dow Industrials and you look at this and you say, well, okay, we've had that kind of new lows being hit, to 52-week new lows in that degree, but then if you go back to 2011, this was 2011, okay? This was August, and then the choppiness and the sell-off into the beginning of October, okay? After this huge head and shoulders top here in 2011. So pretty good little downswing here that we had. And that's what generated 11 straight days of being below zero on the high-low index, yet we're getting it right here. So I'm not quite sure what to make of that, other than to think that the level of selling that's occurring, just even for this small move, is higher or to a greater degree than what, it's almost like it's disguised, is what I guess I'm trying to say. So anyway, let's move on with that. So I think that's all of the indicators for today. And if you can sense a little bit of hoarseness in my voice, you're right, because I am fighting it tonight big time. So I'm sipping on tea in between the pauses here. Little tea with a little bit of honey in it, and seems to be working and helping a little bit. So I apologize for the voice tonight. So let's go ahead and take a look at Apple. Let's see. All right. So Apple was totally unchanged today, and it's in this sideways congestion going on. I really did expect, I was looking for a flat, okay? And by flat, I mean an A, B back to the beginning of A, and then C back down again, okay? Kind of like an A, an A sideways, almost like the way this thing is playing out here, except I was expecting a deeper move back down, maybe down here, down to this, and we may get it. I was tempted to go short and buy puts in here. But the congestion active, the congestion action that I'm seeing in here, the price action, doesn't give me a high comfort level. I mean, we could be doing nothing but chopping sideways. So I don't know. I'm just gonna continue to watch Apple, look to see if we get a little more follow through to the downside, and then we'll kind of go from there. So staying on the sidelines on Apple. Twitter, on the other hand, it looks like it's trying to do 5 waves up now. It broke out of this trend line here on Friday. Actually kind of surprised me. And I do think that there's a chance, especially when I look at the RSI, it looks like it's breaking this trend line and trying to move to the high side in here. Now, you can make the case that we're getting bearish divergence, but it's just the way this looks. It looks to me like it's trying to break out. If that's the case, then the next point of resistance is right here at this top up here, which is around 59. Okay, so that's what, 5.5 points above from where we're at, and then we've got this big gap that is unfilled, and the bottom of the top of that gap is 67. So we got a gap from 59 to 67 in here, where it's basically a vacuum. So it's going to be real interesting to watch to see if Twitter does anything, does make a move, or whether it rolls over in here. And I'm not at this point seeing something I want to jump in on. I'm hesitating on the moves to the upside, although there is a decent trend in here with Twitter, at least on an intermediate basis. Let's put it that way. Let's see. The last one we'll take a look at is Adobe. And Adobe is kind of interesting. I do think we've topped out here on Adobe, at least on an intermediate basis. It looks like a double top to me. And we got closes below this point in here, and it's been chopping a little bit. So I'm looking for it to actually continue to the downside. The 10's below the 21, below the 55. And so right now I'm going to put out a trade idea on this one to get into puts. Tomorrow morning I'll have the specifics on this, on where to get in on them at and what we're trying to play. So I'm going to put that on the Trade Ideas webpage and see if we can't get a little swing. This almost looks like a little bit of a reverse cup and handle too that's trying to form, like in here. So I'm expecting, if this continues downward, that this is like an upside down cup and handle. And I really call it kind of a swing move, like a pivot swing move. And so I'm looking to see if this comes back down, breaks this trend line, we could get a little swing action down here. And the double top actually projects down to 61. Okay, so now I'm trying to think, let me pull up. I don't think I talked about Facebook. Facebook. Yeah, and Facebook in here, It was, what, up 11 cents today. I'm going to hold with, I've got a trade idea on this. I thought about changing it slightly, but I'm going to stick with my point of the trade idea of to enter puts. I still think this has got a chance of rolling right on down, and just because of the way this is acting. So that trade idea is not changing. The trade idea on Pandora is not changing. Actually, I think I may be changing the specific options. So look at that. Revisit the page if you're looking at these trade ideas. And by the way, you know, to get access to the Trade Ideas webpage, you just simply have to subscribe, just first name and email, and you download the free PDF I've got for you, and then you can have access to the Trade Ideas, and you get notice of when I put out new posts and that type of thing on the webpage. So again, just click on this little red bar here and you'll be good to go. So that's it for tonight. We talked about Apple, we talked about Facebook, we talked about Twitter, and we talked about Adobe, and kind of revisited the trade ideas, and then I'll be back Wednesday night with another market update and look at another set of Chinese stocks. This has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Thanks for stopping by, and we will see you on Wednesday. Have a great Tuesday.